All right, one card on the bottom for Adam. We are ready to go. Island past the turn. So once again, I don't know what's in Adam's deck. We're going to find out together. Bloodstained Mire pass. Could be Black-Red Reanimator. Thundering Falls surveils a Misty into the graveyard. Now Adam will fetch, maybe to surveil. Undercity Sewers. Okay, it looks like it might be blue-black, actually. Very interesting. It's actually Money Storm. Yeah, like, how much is a Brainstorm with the art on the right? TCG mid. Does anybody know?
Tendrils.
Okay, there's an Underground Sea. There's none on a TCG player, only 4 of them? Oh, okay. Fair enough. Has one ever sold, then? Corey Steelcutter for David.
I don't think this is
Force pitching Brazen Borrower on the Corey Steelcutter. Forcing back, pitching Murktide, protecting the cutter.
Stranger Things.
Which one are you wasting?
Okay, Orcish Bowmaster.
This is relevant.
Undercity Sewers has been destroyed.
I'm getting dazed.
Oof, and a daze on the Bowmaster.
Because it's the Force.
How many cards now? 3. One of which is
Yeah, no Monk made here. There was a Force of Will. That was actually the second spell of the turn.
I'm gonna.
Okay, Adam gets a Brainstorm in. Looking for that second land again, I guess.
Get them 10 days, man.
Show me the 10.
Turn 1 up into it. Turn 1. Turn 1 on the play. Little tiny stuff. So it's only if you think about it.
Alright, here's a Ponder for David. So the Corey Steelcutter is seeing some play in some control-y kind of decks, some tempo-y kind of decks. We've seen it played alongside some baubles and...
So you're at 18 also? No, you didn't fetch.
and cantrips, Dragon's Rage Channeler, friendly with this card. Not seeing the cutter, at least I haven't seen it myself, in Beanstalk decks or anything like that. Tends to be a completely different deck. Playing similar to the Mentor decks of Legacies past. Here's a Murktide. 5/5 Murktide. Veiled Wanderer says extra land drop from David there. All right, the YouTube commenters are going to be rewinding and checking. It's possible there was another land drop. I'm not sure myself, but it's possible. There was a daze earlier. But we played Corey Steelcutter, then daze the land, following turn. I'm not sure. 6/6 Murktide, it turns out.
Surveilling. We'll bin this land.
Okay, a fetch land dumped into the graveyard. Mr. Bips is not a problem. Second Explorer.
Good.
This match was recorded at Game Storia here in Queens in New York City. Those of you that have been hanging out with us on stream for a while are aware I bounce around between different shops, different events, recording for all of us to screen on stream. Here's Entomb.
That's cute. 6/6. Same one of those games. Yep. Rip and lose so we
We'll
can
cast Reanimate.
Rip and lose so we can
Traxa is in the yard, and we're casting Reanimate.
I think jumping around.
Emo NYC says NYC is the happiest city in USA. Is that true? I find that hard to believe.
Yeah.
I tend to keep an eye on the Human Development Index personally. All right, here is Archon of Cruelty, Abhorrent Oculus, Polluted Delta, Thoughtseize, Animate Dead. All right, the Oculus was chosen from Creature Pile. Force of Will from the Instant Pile. All right, pretty fast selection here. Traxa is on the board. That's going to be a problem potentially for David.
To be honest, I don't think he does that.
I've played 2 festivals against him and nothing else. Just so we're clear.
Yep.
Oh, hell, okay. Surveil. Okay. Value.
Equipping the Cutter to the Murktide. It's going to trade with the Traxa. I like that play, actually.
He's actually playing.
Wait, who scooped? I'm not sure who conceded just now.
I can't believe this deck is still playing. It's still good. It's
I guess Adam conceded?
It's gonna be really hard to make Entomb Reanimate backed up by Force Days, Thoughtseize.
I think David conceded, no?
great for like a long time, and then they printed the tracks.
Yes.
Yeah, Traxa is like the biggest thing.
Yeah, I guess there's a likelihood David scooped because too far in card advantage. It just was not clear right now.
Okay,
Me too.
good luck.
All right. With David on the play, I guess David was the one that scooped. Fair enough.
Ponder.
Digs up a volcanic island to start the game. It's rare that a game ends and I'm not sure who won. But that was what happened.
I'm sure you would.
Let's figure out what to do about what's her face. Oh, jeez. Okay.
These actually are not good.
All right, Ponder Shuffle. David says these are not good. Good sign for Adam. Was hoping to put some high mana value creatures on the board.
I'm gonna fetch Underground Sea.
Using Reanimate and Animate Dead, 2 cards that were clearly tested thoroughly for 1v1. They're not commander cards. Tamio gets dazed. All right, a pretty good Wasteland. Blows up Adam's Underground Sea. The Reanimator deck needs 2 lands to reanimate a creature on the same turn.
Because it does take away some of the tempo-ish game plan, but it's like...
Unless you want to reanimate Tamio. Here's another Tamio. Bloodstained Mire gets correct.
Also gonna get...
Nerfed. Yeah, I don't think I'll have a bad tracks.
Lightning Bolt targeting Tamio. Tamio dies. Tamio a top card in Legacy here in 2025 for sure. The Hoodie Show. Thank you for the sub with Prime. Welcome.
You got it.
Ponder.
That's good.
Ponder for Adam here.
I think I figured out what's missing with my side. Hang up with you.
Such basic
No, it's just
swamp.
I never changed it out from that
Cast Thoughtseize.
4 months ago whenever I was here.
Days on Thoughtseize. All right. Thoughtseize was announced by Adam. It's getting dazed before it even hits the table. Adam found that basic swamp, making sure we'll have black mana no matter what.
Tamio.
Yep.
Now David plays a Tameo.
How many cards?
4. I'll play Homox. Check.
Well, that's over if I try to do something.
No, I can make my next one happen.
Thought the Voidwalker is not too bad.
Go ahead.
David's graveyard is kind of full of stuff already, though. Looks like he already has Delirium and enough to cast a Murktide. But Voidwalker could be interesting. Tameo attacks, makes a clue. Voidwalker also having Shadow and 3 power could be enough sometimes.
Two black and 1 blue.
I'll respond. Correct. And then it resolves.
Do we need more Shadow creatures in Legacy, chat?
I'll wait till you do.
Oh, are you gonna?
Murktide Regent hitting the stack here. So now with Voidwalker on the table, it will be difficult for David to refill that graveyard. But we have a pretty big Murktide, which will deal a lot of damage very quickly. 7/7. Adam's at 17.
Don't look at me like that. You see it.
All right, Petty Theft immediately on the Murktide. It's sent back to hand, and it'll be stuck there for a while. Brazen Borrower on an adventure. Delthy Voidwalker attacking. Nothing trapped under the void just yet.
Go ahead. Yep.
This is a bad wheel.
Okay, Tameo attacks, makes a clue. Brainstorm now, attempting to flip Tameo. That'll be a problem for Adam, I think. Voidwalker could, of course, attack it. It'll be stuck at stuck in neutral as far as loyalty, it seems.
So we'll look for the
But it'll prevent David from being attacked personally every turn by this Voidwalker. Brainstorm goes under the void. There's the Seasoned Scholar. Bolt on the Voidwalker. All right, well, now the offense has been shut down. Tameo will start ticking up.
How many cards?
What do I do about what's your face?
Bolt gets exiled with a void counter on it. That is how that works. Shouldred's Edict. You sack a Planeswalker. Good timing for that. Gets rid of Tameo immediately. Goes to the graveyard. No longer a Voidwalker on the battlefield. Grafdigger's Cage is pretty good. Now a Ponder. Grafdigger's Cage might be a big pain in the butt. Brazen Borrower still on an adventure on Adam's side, though. That could get flashed in and start attacking, potentially. Okay, here's a Brainstorm for Adam. It's going to be hard to reanimate stuff with the cage on the field. These Reanimator decks, though, these Dimir Reanimator decks, tend to be able to operate without reanimating a creature. You'll see some Bowmasters and friends.
16 up.
What about the frog?
I've been mulliganing like This is for you.
All right, now now a Tameo for Adam.
Good. Thinking.
Tameo's pretty powerful.
Go ahead.
It might become a must-answer threat. Drawing half the deck is often game-winning. We have seen drawing half the deck not win the game on 90s MTG more than once. So it's not a guarantee. Thundering Falls, Surveil. Dumps a Wasteland. Don't need that at the moment. David has 2 clues. Tameo on the other side of the board. Might need to deal with that as soon as possible. Murktide, not bad. It's going to be a small one, though, it seems. 4/4, maybe?
Cavern anyway. I had
4/4 Murktide is in. Not bad.
like 9 times out of 10, and I get better spots by shutting off the counter magic
Cracking Scalding Tarn, finding another volcanic island. Cracking a clue to draw a card. Passing the turn. Getting that clue cracked before Bowmaster can make an appearance. I like that play. Tight plays. Here's a Ponder. We could see Tameo flip this turn. It will be vulnerable to attacks, though, from Murktide. Ponder Shuffle.
Am I seeing Snapcast?
Priority for Adam might be removing Murktide here, rather than flipping Tameo. There is a Shieldred's Edict in the graveyard that Tameo could potentially return if it flips. Brainstorm, okay. So Tameo will become a Planeswalker.
So like against you like that.
Engineered Explosives X is 1. That could blow up Grafdigger's Cage at some point.
And 3 ovals, where normally if it was like not roll and then it had.
Alright, cracking that clue. Closest clear as far as Bowmasters. Looking for a way to beat this Engineered Explosives now. Potentially no way to do that. Might have to accept that Grafdigger's Cage could be on its way out. Core Steel Cutter, okay. We might see Tameo get knocked out this turn. Let's see.
Game 1 blind. I should have put that right. I looked at the
Alright, Tameo will drop to 1 loyalty. Survives.
I also haven't got 7.
Tameo raises its loyalty to 3. Engineered Explosives with that 1 charge counter on it is scary. Could detonate and then entomb, reanimate, that whole business. I don't think there are any big creatures in Adam's yard. Go for the throat on Murktide's not bad. Murktide down. Yeah, the engineered explosives would kill Tameo. It would. Up until this moment, it looked like Tamio was going to get lost anyway. Maybe now that that situation has changed, we'll hold off on popping the explosives now that I think about it. Up until that go for the throat on Murktide, it looked like Tamio was doomed.
Three.
3 cards in Adam's hand. Good point by the chat, though. The plan here might still be to make a monk attack Tamio, but all right, just pass it in turn. Grafdigger's Cage stays on the board for another turn. Tamio ticks up to 5 loyalty. Passes it back to David. Tamio will be threatening an ultimate in 2 turns. Mishra's Bauble, that's spell number 1. Mishra's Bauble, spell number 2. Trigger Flurry. OG Monk token. Wow.
Second time here.
One.
Look at your top card.
Just 1 power on that Monk. Slows down Tamio a bit. Mishra's Bauble looked at the top card. Gonna draw 2 cards. Potentially a Bowmaster could do some damage here.
Is he done stuff?
What?
Is he done stuff?
Flash and a Bowmaster.
Okay, there's the Bowmaster that we were worried about. No prowess on this Monk so far. Okay, the Bowmaster will deal 1 damage to David. Brazen Ball is still on an adventure. That's not on the battlefield. Goes to Adam's upkeep now. The Mishra's Bauble triggers will happen.
I'll flash in another Bowmaster.
Oh, okay. Before that, a second Bowmaster. Ouch!
I'll shoot you. 2. First trigger. I'll put both on that.
Oh, so it's just the initial shoot. So
Yeah.
two triggers here.
2 pings at that Monk from the first Mishra's Bauble trigger. Pyroblast on Tamio in response. Tamio down. Now that Engineered Explosive is looking more likely to detonate.
There was a time when you also know we were playing bricks.
2 triggers pointed at the Monk.
Still second trigger on the stack.
Yeah, there's still a second Bauble trigger on the stack. Okay. Third ping will go at the Monk. 4th at David. So 3, well, 2 damage on the Monk. 1 more pointed at it. Surgical extraction here to try to save the Monk. Going up to Dothy Voidwalker. Dothy Voidwalker getting surgical. 2 prowess triggers on the Monk.
Got it. I have no Dothies in hand.
Another Monk gets created from Flurry, but not going to equip with Corey Steelcutter to keep the power toughness of the first high enough so that it survives 3 pings.
Feel free to look.
5/5 Orc Army on Adam's side now. David's at 9.
And you have how many cards left?
3.
Draw per turn. And I'll push you. Contact token. I'll attack with these guys with cards.
All right, big attack comes in. David drops down to 3.
Brainstorm doesn't do it. You got it.
Brainstorm will not do it. Adam gets the match. Well played. GG's. Reanimator still looking good.